Hello and welcome to our training today on harvest gain loss service request management. My name is Keely Lansing. I'm a platform trainer here at Envestnet, and we will be going through how to begin the process of submitting a harvest tax loss service request, how you can navigate to that area, the steps to process through that request, and to complete that request being submitted. To get started with that, I am sharing my screen here, and we are just in a demo environment today. So in the event you see something you don't normally see, please do just keep in mind that we are in that demo environment. From the desktop here, there are a few ways to begin navigating to that harvest service request option. You can either use the quick actions here by selecting the clients button and then choose your client from your list or filter for that client. Alternatively, you can do the accounts button here and select the account from your accounts list here. And you also have the ability to do those same things via the quick search function at the top for either account or client. Any of those is fine to navigate to that client you want to begin working with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on our client. And that will drop you on the financials tab. If you land on the financials tab here, we're going to look just to the right a little bit till we get to the service tab. We're going to click on that, and under the service tab here, we will see the accounts and goals listed for our client. And then we will be able to see the account we want to work on today, which is going to be this one right here in the middle. And then we have a few plus signs to choose from. We are going to choose from the plus sign that is directly lining up with our account number here. And if we click on that, the one above that on the individual. And we're going to choose the harvest gain loss service request from this drop down here. You will only see the harvest gain loss service request appear on an appropriate account that can have a harvest gain loss submitted on it. So if we click on that, that's going to take us into the beginning of our harvest gain loss service request. It automatically provides a service request number attached to that, and the registration and client that we have selected is shown as well. Now, under the tasks tab here, we're simply going to fill out the boxes. So our first blank box here is going to be us selecting what kind of harvest request are we submitting. Is it a short-term gain, long-term gain, short-term loss, or long-term loss? And you can add additional rows so that you could complete multiple requests at a time, like so, by just filling out the appropriate box. If you don't need the extra boxes, you can delete them as well. In order to know what we can choose from, along the bottom here, we have a gain summary and a loss summary that's populating here for you. So you can review the corresponding columns here in order to make an appropriate selection. Now, from what you see here, this is being pulled from the custodian. So if any of these numbers look a little bit off to you, please do review that at the custodian. Our next option after choosing our operation will be to choose the account. And of course, we've already selected that account, but this is basically you stating, yes, this is in fact the account that I want to make this request on. Next, we have the option to either choose the maximize gain loss or type in manually an amount. If we choose to check the box for maximize gain loss, you do not need to type in a dollar value. In fact, if you were to do so, you would receive an error when you try to move forward, letting you know you don't need to specify the amount when that box is checked. So you can just get rid of that. If you need to learn a little bit more about that maximize gain loss, you can use the little question button here right next to that. If you click on that, it elaborates for you that when this is checked, the trade engine will harvest the maximum gain losses available at the time of trade generation. So today we're going to check that box for our operation. And then if we scroll the whole way down to the bottom here, there is additional info available to here for you on the bottom, explaining a little bit more about the harvest request. So please take note of that and familiarize yourself as well. Great, so I'm going to go ahead and hit our save and next. And this is going to take us into our review and submit screen. So this is one last chance to look over the selections that we made. Had we manually entered an amount instead of maximizing, we would see an amount here. But since we chose to maximize, this is actually showing 0, since at this time we don't know what that amount will be until that request is submitted and acted upon. From here, your next step would be to submit the request. However, if for some reason you no longer need to proceed or want to proceed with this request, you can also delete the request up here in the top right-hand corner. In addition to that, if you navigate away from this service request for some reason, there are a few ways that you can actually get back to that service request. Number one, you can click on the service request tab here on the desktop, or in the practice tab on the far right, you will see service request. And then you can actually search in the filters, choose the status as not yet submitted, right? We never submitted that. And then harvest gain loss. And if we search for that, that will appear here. We can click on this and pick up right where we left off. Or we can navigate back to that specific client or specific account. Back to our service tab here, and you'll notice on the bottom we have a category that has appeared here called not yet submitted, and that is our harvest gain loss service request as well. Again, I can just click on that service request number, jump right back in and pick up where I left off, and that is the ideal operation. If you should navigate away, you do not have to start a brand new request. You can simply pick up where you left off. So if you're ready to proceed, you can just hit that submit request. Please do keep in mind the deadlines for submitting harvest gain loss service requests at the end of the year, which are typically around mid-December, but you should receive documentation about those deadlines sometime in October. Usually those go out reminding you about the deadlines. I'd like to thank everyone for their time today and participating in our training.